Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? I am super excited for this video because we're going to be trying out a new palette from Sydney Grace. I always get so excited when they release new palettes just because they already carry some of my absolute favorites, palettes that I am obsessed with. I love the Tiny Marvels palette and the Enduring Love. So I am very, very excited about this one. This is the new California Coast palette. They did send over the light version and the deep version. I will go ahead and show you what both of them look like, but I'm only going to swatch the light version just because this is the one that I plan on keeping and using, and I don't want to put my grubby little fingers into both of them and, you know, make this one not new. So I was actually thinking I could just go ahead and do a giveaway in this video for the deep version. If you're interested, it's not complicated. Just comment that you're interested. Make sure you're subscribed. No crazy rules or anything. I'll get back to you soon. So in today's video, we're going to do some live swatches. Gonna do a look, and then I'll let you know at the end how I'm feeling about the palette so far. So let's jump right on in. So here's what the packaging looks like up close. There's the ingredients. So this one is the light version. So you can see it is a very neutral palette. And then here is what the deep version looks like. And then here's what they look like side by side. It looks like Half Moon Bay, Laguna, Butterfly Beach are the shades that are standing out to me that look different. Okay, so let's start swatching. First we have the shade Half Moon Bay, which looks like a really pretty kind of like rosy taupe neutral shade. We've got Laguna, which is a very like warm rosy brown. Super, super pretty tones. I mean, I feel like those two shades together alone would be an ideal look for me. We've got Glass Beach, which is a pretty neutral brown. Super pretty. The mattes feel very, very smooth. Next we have Butterfly Beach, which is a really beautiful matte taupe shade. Again, super buttery. We have Malibu, which is another kind of neutral brown. This one is just a little bit more cool toned than the previous shade, Glass Beach. And then we've got La Jolla Shores. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. I've actually never been to California, unfortunately, but this is a really beautiful deep matte brown. Again, very neutral shade. And then on the bottom row, we have three more shimmers. So we've got Big Sur, which is pretty much like a penny kind of foiled shade. Super, super metallic, very pretty. We've got Santa Cruz, which is not as metallic. Like the texture feels slightly less intense, but it's a really pretty shimmery taupe as well. And then we've got Carmel Beach, which that one feels like the most satiny of the bunch here. And that is just a gray taupey satin. It's funny because my first thoughts like swatching this out is I feel like it actually would complement the Enduring Love palette really well. I think it's definitely a very cute, like neutral taupey vibes kind of palette. And I know for some people like this might be a little bit more of a boring color story, but I would just keep in mind that I feel like Sydney Grace is kind of doing something a little bit different in terms of being an indie brand that is like a lot of the times focused more on neutrals and like more like wearable color stories, things that are not so like bright. And I feel like a lot of indie brands do amazing at doing really fun, out there, inspiring color stories. And I feel like normally mainstream keeps it more tame. So I feel like Sydney Grace is kind of like that perfect in the middle. Like if you want to support indie brands, you want to try more small business, but you also don't really like go for anything super bright, that you're like wearing more tame, neutral makeup, like that's your comfort zone. I feel like Sydney Grace is the brand for you. So, I mean, I honestly feel like there's a place for them here, and I love what they're doing, and I think it's super cute. Plus, formulas are super, super good, but we'll see how the eye look turns out. Oh, and while we're here, they did send over their new brush set, which I have been using. I've got some right here too as well. They're honestly super, super fancy looking, but I'll go ahead and use these with the eye look today too. And hopefully I'll do a review video soon. I just figured I would start testing them already. And I think they look so cute all together in this little cup. Okay, so I think I'm gonna start off with this shade right here called Butterfly Beach, just because I love my cool tones. And I'm gonna use the Sydney Grace. Oh, that's awkward. There's actually no numbers or anything on these brushes, so that's very strange for a brand. I'm like, I thought that there was names, but I guess there's not. So I'm just gonna start off with a large fluffy brush, and I'm just gonna throw that. Oh, it's pigmented. Okay, I'm gonna start it off in my outer V, and then just blend that through the crease in circular motions. I mean, it's doing exactly what I expected it to do. Immediately just blending super, super easy. It looks incredibly smooth on the eye. I am gonna go in with a little bit more. Gonna grab a slightly smaller fluffy brush, and I'm gonna go into the next shade up in that row, Malibu. It's neutral brown right here. I'm just grabbing a little bit of that, throwing it in my outer V. I know, it's a little bit more of a boring look, but I'm not mad at it. So just buffing that out. I mean, I feel like it's just so fast, so easy. So I kind of buffed that out. I didn't go in with a ton. I'm okay with it just being a lighter like wash of color, but I figured I would go in with one more really tiny, super cute little blending brush, and we're gonna try out just a touch of the deepest shade in the outer V. So just putting that in the outermost part of my outer V, just right here, making a little V. I mean, it's definitely pigmented. Like, I just picked up a tiny little bit. It looks almost black. It is blending pretty well, but I'm just gonna kind of add it where I want it with a small brush, and then I'll go into the previous blending brush and go over that. Okay, so I pulled out a really tiny little flat eyeliner brush, and I really want to go into the shade Caramel Beach for my lower lash line. I just feel like it looks super, super pretty. I'm definitely a creature of habit because I just always love reaching for a satin for the lower lash line. This one looks like the perfect lower lash line color. Just adds a little something something. They also have a like really tiny little like angled eyeliner brush, so I'm kind of tempted to go in with that shade La Jolla Shores and like just line my upper lashes just a little tiny bit for a bit of definition. Does not have to be perfect at all. Just kind of smudging that in. You could do this before shimmers and make it like a little bit less obvious, or you could do it afterwards. Whatever floats your boat. So I feel like it's pretty obvious, at least to me, that I want to go in with Half Moon Bay right here as my lid shade. I just think it looks really, really stunning. I'll try it on one of their brushes just to see, but typically I normally just use my fingers. But I've said this multiple times, it bothers me when a brand makes a brush that's like a flat packing brush and it doesn't actually go with their shimmer formula. So I just pulled out the one that seems the most like lid shade kind of brush and packed the shadow on. It seems to be picking up pretty well. So we'll just go ahead and pop that on right here. Oh, that's so pretty. I'm kind of getting like sparkles a little bit all over the place from that shade, but it's a beautiful shimmer. Not mad at it at all. Okay, so there's what it looks like packed on with the brush that they made. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a little bit on my finger just to see. I mean, yeah, that's still a little bit more intense. And then lastly, because I already said they would go well together, I am going to pull into the Enduring Love palette. This is the light version. Here's what it looks like. I'm just going to take a touch of the pink shade Romeo, and I'm going to pop that on my inner corner. While I'm here, I'm just going to use the shade Juliet as my blush and Romeo as my highlight as well. Just grabbing a little bit of that for the cheekbones. I'm just going to grab the highlight on the same brush, even though it's a little bit bigger, just mostly dipping it in like with the tip and just go right on top. Just for a little bit of a softer moment. I think I'm actually going to skip liner in my waterline today, and I'm going to go straight in with the Melt Supernatural Mascara. It's actually starting to get a little clumpy, so I probably need to throw it away because I'm just not loving the way it looks as much. It hasn't lasted the best. Lastly, for lips, Sydney Grace did send over a lip product as well. I believe this is one of their like satin glosses, and the shade is Anne. I feel like the color actually goes really well with the California Coast palette color story, so I think we should try it out. Okay, that's like the perfect color for this look. It couldn't be more right. I feel like I have two of these, and I don't remember them being so pigmented. This one was just opaque color. All right, y'all, so this is the finished look. Honestly, I really love how it turned out. I feel like if you are into more of a like pinky, taupey, neutral color story, this one is super, super cute. Honestly, no issues with it. I do feel like I have to reach somewhere else for an inner corner shade, but I don't mind. And like I said, I feel like these two palettes are gonna be besties. I feel like all the mattes blended super, super easy, very creamy, just a great matte formula as always. There is a variety of shimmers going on here. I feel like this one has a bit of sparkle to it. This one is extremely metallic. This is kind of like in between, like still metallic but not as intense. And then you also have a satin. So I think that's nice. You kind of have a little bit of everything. So yeah, I mean, I really, really like how the look turned out. I don't really have a palette quite this color story, or like nothing is coming to mind to compare, so I'm really glad to own it. I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!